Inside a textile plant, a worker feeds material into a massive fiber rolling machine, unaware that loose fabric is about to create a preventable workplace safety hazard. Never ever work near an unguarded in-running nip point or manually feed loose material into active rollers. Walking past a demolition site, two pedestrians stay on the sidewalk, assuming it is safe. Nearby, a section of the wall shifts outward, illustrating the importance of keeping a safe distance. Never ever walk near or work around a demolition zone that lacks a properly established fall zone or perimeter barricade. Structural changes during demolition are unpredictable, and debris can travel well beyond the building footprint, creating unsafe conditions for nearby walkways. Inside a metal fabrication shop, workers rig a bundle of rods for a crane lift, unaware of a serious snag. As the crane hoists upward, it unintentionally raises the heavy steel platform along with the intended load. Never ever initiate a lift without verifying that the load is completely free and detached from its supporting structure. Snagging is a common crane-related safety concern. If a load catches on a rack or support, the crane may raise both objects until the connection releases or the balance shifts, creating an unsafe and difficult-to-control situation. Loads must be lifted only inches at a time to confirm they separate cleanly from storage racks before full lifting power is applied. Workers should move to a safe distance before the lift begins, not during it. And storage racks must always be securely bolted to the floor to limit unintended movement if a snag occurs. Inside a repair shop, a mechanic bends down to retrieve a part and then stands to place it into the bed of a dump truck. As he reaches into the gap, the hydraulic pressure supporting the tailgate releases unexpectedly. Never ever place your hands or body beneath a raised hydraulic component without a mechanical safety support in place. Hydraulic systems are not structural supports. A single valve leak or loss of pressure can result in sudden closing movement with substantial mechanical force. Always mechanically block or secure any raised or hinged component before working near pinch points. Hydraulic systems should always be treated as temporary supports. Relying solely on fluid pressure introduces unnecessary risk whenever gravity is involved. Inside a busy factory, a crane slowly hoists a heavy bundle of wire. At the same time, a forklift operator drives through the area and unintentionally makes contact with the suspended load. Never, ever drive a forklift through an active crane lifting zone. This is a critical shared space safety concern. Contact with a suspended load transfers force into the crane system and may affect the stability of the lift. Forklifts must always stop and wait until overhead lifts are fully clear of the travel path. Excessive speed reduces visibility and reaction time, so operators must slow down and continuously scan for overhead movement. Attempting to pass beneath an active lift introduces a risk that can escalate rapidly. Inside a dusty warehouse, a scooter rider darts across the path of a wheel loader. With the operator's view blocked by the massive front bucket, the situation quickly becomes tense. Never, ever cross in front of a moving loader, particularly from the right side. Large buckets create significant forward blind spots. Smaller vehicles or pedestrians positioned low and close to the front corner may be completely outside the operator's line of sight. Smaller vehicles must always yield to heavy equipment. In any interaction, mass and momentum determine the outcome. If you cannot clearly see the operator, assume the operator cannot see you and remain well clear of the machine's path. Inside a commercial kitchen, a chef attempts to move a pot of hot stock by gripping the thin steel rim. The weight shifts and the container slips unexpectedly. Never, ever lift a hot vessel that lacks designed structural handles. A rim is intended to support a lid, not the full weight of liquid. Lifting by the edge forces a weak pinch grip that can easily fail, especially when surfaces are hot or wet. Handleless inserts should be treated as stationary containers while hot. If equipment is not designed for lifting, do not improvise. Inside a heavy assembly plant, a worker tracks a massive industrial engine moving overhead, keeping his attention fixed on the lift. But the lift doesn't go exactly as planned. Never, ever rely on watching a suspended load as a safety measure while standing beneath it. gravity acts immediately. If a sling loosens or lifting hardware deforms, the load may descend rapidly with no meaningful reaction time available. Do not depend on reflexes to avoid overhead loads. The only safe position is completely outside the area beneath a suspended load. Awareness does not replace physical distance. Inside a warehouse, a forklift operator notices his cargo shifting and exits the cab in an attempt to stabilize it, unaware that the machine is still in motion. Never ever exit a moving forklift to catch or stabilize a shifting load. Once outside the operator compartment, a person enters the travel path of moving equipment that cannot stop instantly. Materials are replaceable. Operators are not. If a load shifts or falls, remain inside the cab with the seatbelt fastened. Exit the machine only after it has come to a complete stop and the parking brake is fully engaged. Inside a busy warehouse, a forklift operator positions the forks beneath a stacked group of storage racks. As the lift begins, uneven contact quietly compromises the stack's stability. Never ever stand on the blind side of a load being engaged by a forklift. Stacked racks are often unsecured and may shift suddenly when their center of gravity changes, leading to movement toward nearby pedestrians. Pedestrians must maintain a minimum 3-meter clearance before forks engage a load. Operators are responsible for verifying what is positioned behind and around the stack prior to lifting. On a steep ramp, a worker grips the steering handles of a heavy walk-behind tiller while guiding it off a truck. As the front reaches the ramp, the machine's balance changes abruptly. Never, ever manually steer a walk-behind machine over a steep breakover angle. The edge of the truck bed acts as a pivot point. Once the front drops, the machine's weight shifts beyond manual control. Instead of guiding the equipment by hand, use controlled mechanical methods such as a winch or ratchet strap to lower it gradually. Once gravity influences the motion, manual steering becomes ineffective. After unloading a truck, a worker moves a tall manual stacker across an outdoor yard to return it to storage. The wheels strike uneven ground, and the sudden jolt destabilizes the equipment. Never ever move high-mast equipment over uneven surfaces, cracks, or debris. These machines have a high center of gravity and a narrow base, making them highly sensitive to surface irregularities. Also, you should never pull tall equipment from the front, as this forces the operator to walk backwards without clear visibility and places the body near a potential pinning zone. Always push equipment forward to maintain full visibility of surface conditions and obstacles. To keep learning from these important workplace safety lessons, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Stay aware, stay safe.